So, hello and welcome, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, I'm good today. Today's a good day.
Yeah, it's actually before I came online, I don't know what happened, but I felt really bad. Like, I don't know, it felt really dizzy. And
Mm.
I don't know, it came really, it hit me hard. And then now, suddenly, before, I went online, I feel much better now. So,
Oh, good. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on right now in the universe, like all that sort of stuff. We have to like keep integrating new frequencies into our body every day.
yeah. But do you think it has to do with the energy of the collective, or what's going on?
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, with all the energy in the world right now, think about like all the people protesting, think about everything going on, like that high intense energy is
Yeah,
only going to affect, we're all connected and in some form of way, we're going to feel it. A good thing to look at is Schumann resonance.
yeah.
Actually, if you ever feel a little bit weird, I always love checking into that and seeing
Mhm.
if it correlates at all. And usually does.
Okay. I I told you already. I had sent you a message that I really resonate with what you say, and I feel the energy and everything. And it's quite interesting because I feel like we're all a family. We are all together somehow, and especially during these times which we're all going through. We need more like us, like that we all gather together. And I mean, there are a lot of lost souls out there, and it's hard for them. And I'm sure we can all, united, with energy, we can give them more love and attention.
Absolutely. Like, I'm so thankful all the time that I created this like online family that I
Yeah,
have with like my TikTok and my Instagram. It's like there's so much support and there's so much love and there's so much people that think along the same lines more than you know it.
yeah,
Um, and I'm just happy that everyone's finding their own voice and using that to create more love and light in the world. And I think it's super huge. And, people more and more need to find their tribe.
yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. When and how did you start your journey into, especially into spirituality?
Um, well, I think just as much as anyone else, like being an empathic person usually stems from a bit of trauma from the childhood. Um, I think back in the day, people used to think being empathic was like a spiritual gift,
Yeah,
but it was actually, you as a child learning how to read people from a very early age, just so you would be safe.
yeah,
And so I think that's kind of where it started early from my childhood. Had a little bit of a rough go there, rough go in my 20s, and then probably hit rock bottom and
okay,
dug my way out of that and found amazing mentors along the way, healed myself, still healing myself, always going to be healing myself.
mm,
Um, but really, I think it came from life experiences and then just trying new things all the time and then heightening my abilities in the spiritual world through that.
yeah. To be honest, if you would have told me a couple of years ago, I'm that I would deal with all spirituality, or with everything what has to do, with being spiritual, then I would have told you that you're crazy, because I was too much driven by my ego and all this hurt. And from my childhood, I couldn't resonate with that. I had so much. I suffered so much from my childhood, and it grew with me. So at one point, I had to release it because it felt so much of a heavy weight of a burden. But I think it all has to do also because it's a spiritual path. We all go through that, through this awakening, through this spiritual awakening, there are souls who awaken a bit later, and there are souls who awaken a bit earlier. But now with what's happening, a lot of people or a lot of souls are awakening. So it's a process. We never stop learning, first of all, because we are all here to learn. That's the main reason, actually. Otherwise, we wouldn't come to Earth. Actually, it's also to help, but also to learn. What do you think about the whole story?
Of course, like it's a process. I think there's so many different stages of healing. It's like, when we're going through that stuff in childhood, we learn how to protect ourselves the only way we know how to, without the right guidance. We're living through our parents' pain and traumas, and they lived through theirs. And so it's an exciting time right now to kind of break that cycle and break that generational trauma that's been going on through all these timelines of our generations above us. And I think that's what we're seeing now, is we're finally stopping it. We're finally seeing it for what it is. And the internet has been an amazing thing for that, because our parents didn't get that same knowledge as us. They didn't know that they were acting out of their pain and trauma, which is why we can't hold a lot against them. But I think part of that process is, I think in your early 20s or even in your teenage years, you play the victim role of like, and that's your story. This is what happened to me. I'm going to tell my story through that. And then you come into your empowered role and you appreciate everything, even the deepest, darkest things that happen to you, because that's what makes you special. And that's what makes you be able to sympathize in other human beings and have a heart and give love. And then it just goes on, and you get more and more powerful as you identify yourself with the hero versus the victim.
But it also has to do, I heard so many times that if you heal yourself, you heal also all the past generations, no? From your ancestors and everything. So actually, we could release all this energy we had from past lives, no? Or what do you think?
Absolutely. And even in like our own past lives as well too. But it cuts ties. We're no longer going to act that out if we so choose to have children.
That's an interesting point. I was asking myself this many times now, especially since I spiritually awakened. What is it with the point of having children? Because I heard that most of the souls which have children because of past karma also, no? So if this life is, let's say, the last life on this earth, and you have resolved all your karma, can you still have children? That's what I'm asking myself. I didn't still come to the conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the times people can just be a vessel for the children. They're a soul entering into this world. And they're their own soul, their own journey. You are just the person to be able to bring them in. So I think absolutely, if it's your last time on this planet, you could absolutely bring in another soul.
But that all depends also on our soul contract, no? I mean, if we agreed or not. I mean, I've looked into the astrological charts, and it's a bit uncertain, but it all depends also to what we have signed up for, no? At the end of the day, I think.
Absolutely. We knew exactly what we were coming down here for before we came down here.
But can we change certain things? Like if we decide to have children, and it's in the soul contract, is there a change in that, or if you have children, or?
I'm assuming so. Like the one thing that we do have in this life is sure, you know, we might not have freedom sometimes, but we have free will. So we have the choice to choose how we feel and how we get affected and all the choices that we make in this life. But I
Yeah.
think the grand scheme of things is, yes, we're here to experience, but, you know, we're also here, you know, to experience love, and most importantly, I think, um, and just learn how to use our own powers to manipulate the way our life goes.
Yeah. It's like Dolores Cannon mentioned. You know Dolores Cannon. I've read books, a lot of books from her, and she mentioned that we are here on Earth to manipulate energy at the end of the day. No?
Mm-hmm.
So manipulate energy in a good sense, not in a negative way.
Yeah. Well, it's all karma. It'll just come back to you anyway, and then you'll learn the lesson from it, and then you won't do that again.
Yeah. But I mean, that all depends, because we have free will, we still can decide which direction we go. No? I mean, we all have different lives in different dimensions. If you choose to go left, or if you choose to go right, and if you choose, you know, so there are always other dimensions playing in the same time. So there are so many possibilities actually, but at the end of the day, you still get back to the track, to where you are supposed to go, no? Where you're supposed to head on your soul path, actually.
Absolutely.
and
100%.
and we all connect with each other at certain points because we all had it in our soul contracts, like
Yeah.
we assigned to help each other, especially during these times. I must tell you that for me it hasn't been easy, because seeing, you know, the society, people living in fear, and I always thought I want to try and help them and open their eyes, but you cannot do anything because that's their path. But it makes me, how should I say, not sad, but like helpless, no? Sometimes. How do you feel that during these times? How do you cope with that?
Um, yeah, I see that. I see a lot of fear for sure. And I try to help people as much as I can. It's definitely in the way you approach things. You never want to try to make someone come onto your side, but you definitely want to make them feel comfortable as to where they're at
Mhm.
and not judged. But, you know, I found that just me being me and me being in my calm state and not living out of fear has been absolutely enough. And just, you know, voicing my feelings on the current situation and how I'm not living in fear. Because when all this started happening, it was so crazy. It was like this sense of calm that came over me. And it was like, oh, you've been here before. Okay. Maybe this is why you're here. It was just like, it felt like home. And I seen people in turmoil. And for me, I literally felt like I landed home. And it was like the strangest thing. So I'm just trying to be myself and show, you know, my relaxed state. And I feel like that that helps enough.
Yeah, it helps also, you know, if you want to keep your energy, like guard your energy, because like I assume like you're an empath, like I am one, and I can sense the energy of others. And if I go somewhere where there are a lot of people, either I feel drained, like I get tired quickly, and now, especially now, because of what's happening, I try to avoid that. I mean, I meet with you know, friends, family, and everything, but I try to avoid huge crowds, because I feel like with this intense energy, it drains me. You know, like I had this weird situation like 1 week ago, where I felt suddenly very dizzy. I almost wanted to fall down, and it was like, wow, what's happening here? Something weird's happening, and I sensed, because there were some people that were like, I didn't like their energy.
Yeah.
So I tried to guard that. Do you have any suggestions, like how can you do that with crystals, or if
Yeah.
you have to go out, is there any way to guard yourself from that?
Absolutely. I had a really hard time with that, and definitely used alcohol a lot in my past and in my younger years to make me feel comfortable in bigger crowds, because me going sober is way different than me having something to drink. But so I've had to learn how to harness my energy in, and yes, crystals work as well too, but I think it's the intention of it.
Mhm.
No matter what, if you're empathic, you're going to feel that. But you can always, before going in, you can create a beautiful white light shield around you for protection. um, if you notice like a weird feeling coming on from someone, be like, no, sorry, you're not entering into my energy field. Just be like super stern about it, because no one can enter in without your permission.
Yeah.
And also a fun way to manipulate and play with energy is like, starting off your day with like, and playing into a role, like
Mhm.
saying, today I'm going to be a lion. And then you're going to harness that energy and you're going to carry that with you. And you can actually, if you want to do this, you can play around with it before you go into a grocery store. Claim something that you're going to be and manipulate and play with that energy and watch how differently people perceive you. It's actually extremely fascinating and super fun.
Okay.
That way you have something else to kind of think on. But whether you want to be a lion, I don't know, maybe you want to be a soft deer,
Yeah.
maybe you want to be a snake and slither through without being unnoticed. I feel like with everything in the world, it's all intention.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that totally. And I like the advice or what you just mentioned, because if you consciously choose to block your energy, like to guard yourself, then it can also help you a lot, to go through the day, especially if you are outside. You have to work with people, or you are just, in a big crowd. So, but crystals can also help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there special certain kind of crystals someone can use, or can it be
Yeah,
any?
amethyst is a really good one for protection. Same as
Okay.
clear quartz. That one's
Yeah.
really good. there's
Okay.
there's tons and tons. I think it's the intention behind it, and
Yeah.
what you need and why you're using it in the first place. But
Yeah.
absolutely, I think so.
Yeah. And regarding what I also experience is that, especially now during these times, I connect more easily with like-minded souls, who vibe on the same energy. Like, I used to have many people, friends around me and all that, but after the COVID thing started, or whatever thing started, I realized all of these people I knew either left by themselves, because like, either you grow and they don't fit anywhere, in your energy, or in your vibe, in your frequency, or you learned the lesson from them, or they learned their lesson and they left by themselves. And it happened a lot now during the last, I would say, 1.5 years. And it's not that I feel um, that I lost many people. I gained also
Hmm.
many new friends, many new souls. So you have to get rid of the past, and be in the present. That's what I think is the most important, actually, you know,
Yeah.
because we're all talking about getting back to normal, but there is no getting back to normal,
No.
because normal was not good, actually.
No. It was not. It was
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, looking back, we all have made our experience, and now, since we are in this new age in Aquarius, that's a totally different shift of energy, you know, it's, how should I say, you cannot compare it to the past age we were in, the Pisces, no? So what do you think will happen? What do you expect? Are we going to into a wonderful new beginning of time?
I think, you know, what you were saying before too, it's like people are gonna come and go out of your life super, super fast right now because our frequency is speeding up so much. So people are gonna leave, jobs are gonna leave, anything that's not vibing on this new frequency, if you're following with it and going into the fifth dimension, or there's going to be people staying in the third dimension, if you're going through that, like things are going to be wiped out of your life so fast, and things are going to come in. So you learn the lesson, move forward, then head on to the next direction.
Yeah.
But I think the beginning of this is shining a light on all the dark so that even more people can come along for the ride. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rocky beginning, but it's going to be super powerful, and it's the starting of the end of our old lives. And that always has spots to heal. But in the end, I have always believed that finally, since humans came to this planet, we will be free and we will not be slaves to the system. And I think it's going to take a couple years. Like, I think by 2024, 2025 is when we're going to be seeing a lot of big changes. And I think, you know, all the systems have to crash before then. The banking, the education, the medical systems, education, all of it has to completely crash so that we can move forward into this new frequency, because all that is lower dimensional 3D crap.
Yeah. So regarding fifth dimension and third dimension, will there be, because we all hear there are two different worlds and all that, will there be separate worlds, or how can we imagine that? Is it going to be two distinct realities?
So, you know, I went back and forth on this a lot of times, but I think, you know, it would be nice if we could just hop on another planet and like kind of like take off and like all be with like-minded people, but we're never going to grow that way. So, you know, I think when I think about all the dimensions, I think about the dimensions inside of me, and, you know, where am I at, spiritually, mentally, physically. And I think, you know, it will be absolutely separate realities when there's people being left behind, but that's their contract. They have that job, they need to be there, they're probably going to help the other people that are below them, and so they're going to feel good in where they're at too. But I think with fifth dimension, that's when we really tap into our superpowers and really learn how to use manifestation and healing with energy and all that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be a different space where, you know, our talents and abilities are very much so welcomed and not shunned as witchy or whatever. It'll be a whole different reality.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when this whole thing started, or I already knew that it's going to change. There's going to be a huge shift. But to speak with people who don't understand that, it's not that I'll try to avoid it, but what can you tell them? They don't understand it. It's like you speak another language. So
Yeah.
It's like you said, they are in their own reality and we are in our reality. Because at the end of the day, it's what happens inside of you. Because that's your reality. So you're gonna vibe at another frequency. Because you know, I heard so many stories that they're like the Bermuda Triangle. You go into this Bermuda Triangle, and then it shifts you into another dimension, and you never come back. or you are at a different place or at a different time, and you are somewhere else. I've heard this kind of stories. I don't know in which case or in which sense it resonates with what's happening now, but I think the more the Earth is going into fifth and staying with the third dimension, the more shifts gonna happen. You know, like a lot of conscious shifts are happening, and it's also good for the energy, for the global energy, for ours, because we are all how you call that, elevating the human consciousness. And I think
Yeah.
for me, for my purpose here as a soul, is to elevate the human consciousness. That's what I think that my purpose is. Because I always ask myself, what is my soul's purpose and what is for me being here, you know? And apart from what I'm doing, you know, business, making money and all that, if I wouldn't have had the spiritual side from that, I wouldn't understand anything of what's happening. So so it helped me a lot. It helped me really realize what's happening, and it helped me to go my way, to go the way I think is, or not I think, but I know is right for me. And you never know when this human ride we are on here on Earth is going to end. Because if your part is done being here, then you move somewhere else, you go somewhere else, then that's it. It doesn't mean that you're dead, because people think when you're dead that you're dead. No,
Yeah.
it's only your body, it's a vessel. Your spirit, your soul goes somewhere else. Either you reincarnate here or you are somewhere in another planet. That's what I think. What's your
Yeah.
take?
And I think too, it's like that's what I've mostly been shocked at is people's fear of death, because I definitely don't fear that. I don't want to sound morbid, but I welcome it. And I am excited for that new chapter in my life because I know it's a new chapter. And, you know, people are so afraid of dying that they're not even living at all anymore. Like it just is mind blowing. And the people that are most, I feel like, afraid of
Yeah.
death, you know, haven't really been living anyway. So, you know, it's been kind of interesting to watch that fear of people dying. I don't have that.
Yeah, but I don't get this point. You know, the people fear of dying, especially now, but they don't realize what it means. I mean, you were born into this world and you will leave. There is no, like, you know, the point is that why live in fear? You're wasting your own time and energy instead of being present, being here, because that's the only thing we have. The past is the past and the future is the future. We only have this time here. And
Yeah.
why apart from being manipulated and all that in this world we're living, is seeing everything not with fear but with compassion, with love. That's what the people don't get. Instead of seeing it from this perspective, they all, it's like an addiction, you know,
Mm.
being addicted to, you know, living in fear, watching Netflix, doing this, doing that, watching what other people post and how they live. How you call it? Being being jealous, and the other word doesn't. I forgot the other word, but you get what I mean, no?
Yeah.
And this all this negative, you know, jealous and all that. It's a negative energy. Instead of looking at yourself, why are you here? What do you want? Everybody looks at others, what they're doing, and that's not the way of living. It's actually you have to you have to do what you are meant to do, not look at someone else what they're doing. And that a lot of people now, especially with social media, are looking, oh, they have a better house, they have a better car. They're never satisfied with what they have. If they would act with gratitude, or if they would be grateful for what they have, then they could attract more, but they're going exactly the opposite way. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of
So
course.
they're
Really
not
easy to do
grateful for what they have. You can have
that. No.
everything, but still not be grateful. You understand? So sometimes me thinking like this, or in general, makes me at some level being feeling more lonely, but apart from society. But it doesn't matter for me because, especially now, I have more time to look after myself. You know, I can
Mhm.
meditate, I can educate myself, I can learn. I like reading books. I like, how you call it? I want to get as much knowledge as possible. And it's a good time actually now because you cannot go anywhere actually without having how you call it, a certificate or whatever. So
Yeah.
you see what it's actually, it's like it was it had happened, it should have happened in order to realize what's important, you know, for you as a soul. Otherwise we
Yeah.
would have been still in this daily routine, forgetting about what really life is about, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the media has done a really, really good job with making us be consumers and believe that, purchasing things is going to be the way to our happiness.
Yeah.
Um, that's been going on for a very, very, very long time. Um, and it
And
gets stuck in the loop. Like, I mean, look at even people that like buy these homes that are way, way out of their reach. It's like, for me, when you're borrowing that much money from the bank, you're borrowing time, you're borrowing your life. You now have a contract with your time in order to pay that money back to the bank that
yeah,
you never even borrowed it from anyways, because they just put digits into their computer and pretended as if you borrowed money from them, even though there was no money there in the first place. And now you're slaving away with your time in order to have a super fancy home that looks brand new, that's the best on the block. And for what? For you to be tired when you're retired at the end of the year? Like, there's got to be more than life to that.
yeah. And look, I don't blame anyone because they didn't know otherwise. I mean,
No, of course not.
if you grew up believing that all this what's around you, you know, getting a job, you know, paying your bills, that's normal. They didn't learn otherwise. They don't know what I mean, when you were born, they didn't tell you get a job because you're a baby, you cannot get a job. So the point is, we all get educated to live the life as society wants, not as you wanted. And I always struggled with that because I thought, why should I go and work for someone else? And it's my time. I'm giving my time to someone else. What's the meaning of it? I always knew that, but I always struggled to accept that. So I went with the norm, you know, I went with the what society wanted. But at one point, it felt like really, no, I cannot anymore. It's like too much for me. And I always knew that there is a deeper meaning behind everything. And I always knew that there is somebody or someone else controlling all this. And but they always called me a conspiracy theorist. So what should I say?
Yeah,
Mm.
lots of people will say that for sure.
Yeah, but I think now more and more people are realizing what's happening, and that's a good thing. People are starting to wake up. It's what I see here where I am. I don't know, like where you are, if people are already realizing what's happening. But it's a good thing that they're making their own experience and seeing what's happening. I mean, for some, it can be too late. For others, it's a lesson to learn. But it's all, like I said, it's all on our own path. You go your path, I have my path, and we all learn from this experience. So
Yeah.
you have to have patience. Otherwise, what do you want to do with this situation?
This has like taught me the most amount of patience ever of what's going on in the world, for sure.
Yeah.
With time, with people, with opportunities, with experiences,
Yeah.
like, but it's all about creating that inner peace, that inner safety, that inner experience, that inner home within right now. And that is how you're going to get through what's going on.
Yeah. But I mean, also, what is important is that you never, you should never give up um, your purpose. Like whatever is meant for you to happen and be, if you let go of all this worry and fear, if you just let go and guide yourself, like let your higher self guide you, then we wouldn't have all this pressure upon us, I think. So I am for the, I'm against pressuring people to do something they don't want to do, and I am for living your life as you should live it, as you're supposed to live it. And I think what is the point of doing something you don't like to do and wasting your time, because time here on earth is the most precious thing you can have, instead of living your purpose or what you're meant to do. And I mean, sooner or later people will wake up and realize that anyway, because especially now when many people are losing their jobs, they will start asking themselves, what is the meaning of why am I doing this? I hope that many will ask themselves that, because otherwise what was the meaning of going through all this? That's
Yeah,
a spiritual awakening, actually, you know.
absolutely. I think so. Like huge, huge, huge. It's like you were complaining about your job that you didn't like it anyway, so the universe probably heard you. And obviously it's not, your job is not on the new frequency.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And so your job is to align with the new frequency and integrate it into your body, release all your trauma and pain from the past. Past does not serve you anymore. We're going forward, forward, forward. We're taking that new energy with us. As long as you align and think about integrating this into your DNA and attaching all your DNA together, then you're going to find that job. You're going to find that home. You're going to find that partner that all aligns with this new world.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, when you because I always follow you on TikTok, when you post the videos, you get this information from your higher self, or how do you connect with what you say on your videos?
Yeah, I don't plan them. I just hit the record button and see what the heck comes out of my mouth, to be honest. And sometimes I'm like, oh wow, that's so weird. That's silly. and it doesn't make sense. And it's not until I go back to it the next day and I listen to it, and then I learn from it as well too. So
Okay.
I don't really, obviously I've done research and I've taken bits and pieces, obviously, from books that I've read or dreams that I've had or whatever. But when it comes to my videos, none of them are planned whatsoever. I just
Mm,
allow myself to speak, and the first recording is the recording. I don't redo it.
okay. But you felt called when you first started posting TikTok. You felt called to do that, like you had a like a calling, or it was just
Yeah, and so on topic of like what's going on in our world today, like when I'm speaking about that sort of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
when you
because
started
that's
your
when my TikTok started blowing up, really, is when I started speaking my truth and how I feel about what's going on. And it was kind of scary at first, but I did, receive the message that anyone that has a voice right now should be using it to help others.
yeah, but that's what I liked what you just mentioned, that you when you use your voice, like if you connect with yourself and speak your truth, and then more people will listen to it, because with all this media, what they're doing, they're not true. They don't act with how you call that, they're not true to themselves. They're trying to manipulate the people. And when someone like you speaks with their true voice, then they're there because they want to know, oh, what's happening here. That's the real case, that's the real thing, not this
Yeah,
what they're telling you.
people
And
can feel it.
yeah, and I think we all need more of this. We need more of speaking the truth, and we shouldn't be scared or anything. We should really speak what we feel, because a lot of people think, oh, what is he going to think, or what is he going to say, or so we should really stand on our ground and speak our truth, and that's the most important thing, actually, to be honest.
100% right now. It's huge. And don't care about what other people think, because I get told multiple times on my TikTok videos that I should go kill myself and that I'm an idiot and I'm stupid and all that sort of stuff. It's not like I get 100% support all of the time,
Yeah.
but hey, out of like 600 comments, if only 3 people are telling me to go kill myself, well, I think that's a win.
I also get that every day. As I just got one guy who told me, man, where did you come from psychiatry or something like that. It doesn't I know I understand this kind of people. They seek for attention and they don't know what they're saying.
Mhm.
So in the past I would have attacked them. I know myself.
Yeah.
I would have written him something, but now I think I just give them peace and love, and that's it. I mean, I'm not like, oh, I'm still myself as I used to be, but I think first before I act, because before I reacted to
Yes.
something, and now I see something, and then I think, this poor soul, why is he saying that? He has some issue.
Yeah. You
That's
just
what,
triggered something inside of that person, right? That made
yeah,
them feel all weird and uncomfortable because it's not something they ever thought about and they didn't like the way that was integrating in their body. So instead of trying to look at it in a certain way, what they did is they got extremely defensive because they're like, nope, not going there. That's unknown territory. That upset me. That made me mad. Now I'm going to throw hate on what you and whatever you said because I'm so uncomfortable. And how dare you make me feel that way?
but that's
That's all it
also
is.
that's also the ego.
Yes, of course.
So if you're not true to yourself and your ego speaks, then that's why
Yeah.
it's important that we all start to see everything I mean, I'm not in La La Land. I'm not like, fans, but we all should react more with love instead of anger. You understand? Are you still there? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I said that we all should react more with love instead of anger or fear. And things would go for us much better if we see it from that point, or if we act with love.
Absolutely. And
So
it's a work in progress all the time. I want to react to things sometimes too, or I'll catch myself being triggered, or you know,
yeah,
but it's a muscle.
yeah,
It's
it
just a
is.
muscle.
You train it, and the best way to do that is by meditating or going into nature. Like for me, if I want to recharge myself or I am low on battery, I go into nature. I feel more connected there, and I get like a boost of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And also by meditating, in the beginning it was hard because I couldn't, control my thoughts and everything. But then if you do it daily, it gets like it's like an habit. And then it's more natural to you, and then you calm down, and then you can focus better. So meditation helped me a lot. Do you meditate also, or?
Yeah, I do. I guess my meditation, like I am always like deep breathing and stuff like that, but I guess when I meditate now, it's more doing Reiki on myself. I would say like
Okay.
that's my meditation, but I get all sorts of stuff out of doing Reiki on myself as well too.
Okay. Great. So yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you, and like I said, when I first saw you on Instagram or in TikTok also, um, I immediately connected with you. So now to the people who are listening, how can they find you? What's the best way, on TikTok, on
Yeah,
Instagram?
I'm TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook. My TikTok and Instagram is Ashley Sanderson
And
dot
Ashley Sanderson.
CTM.
Okay. I will put a link anyway down on the recording so people can
Amazing.
find you. So yeah, thanks a lot for this wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I felt really this today, or especially this evening, some intense energies. So I still have to, how you call it,
Harness it in.
harness it in. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still feel it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed it. I hope you too. And
I loved it. Thank you so much. I
thank you
can't wait to
for,
do it again.
yeah, definitely we will do. We'll have another conversation. But for now, I thank you for being here and for taking the time. And yeah, I will put the link for the listeners that they can find you on TikTok and on Instagram. And do you offer also some sessions, or
Yeah.
people can?
So
Okay.
I do self-love coaching. I also
Okay.
have some courses that you can do on your own. I have a course that's called The Art of Mastering Self-Love. It's an 11-week program that you do on your own. And
Okay.
then I also do Reiki. So I do distant and in-person Reiki as well. Like
Nice.
my client last night was from Calgary. My client this morning was from Spain.
Okay.
So you can have Reiki in the comforts of your own home. And it's amazing. And it's very transformative and very healing.
So what you do is you can do remote healing then, remote
Yeah.
energy healing.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I have my own Reiki room and I set up the Zoom camera and
Okay.
the person who's receiving the Reiki lays back and there's music playing. And I actually have a full life-size mannequin. And so I do all the work on the mannequin. And
Mhm.
even the guy from Calgary, he never received Reiki before. He felt all the energy that I was giving to him when I was on all the different parts of the chakras.
Wow.
So it was really amazing to hear that from someone that's never received Reiki.
Okay.
And he was all the way in Calgary. So it was awesome.
I think I'm gonna do also a session with you. I have to.
Yeah.
Where can I book you? Or do you have a site there, a website, or
Just reach out to me and we'll find a time that works for you. I would love to
Great.
do that.
I think I
Have you
need
had Reiki done?
I used to have like many years ago, but I didn't do it since then. But it really helped me. I mean, I was a person who did the healing, how you call it, and I felt this energy, very intense energy. I had some heavy blockages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I released already some stuff, but my chakras, I think there's still some blocked stuff inside, and I need to release them. So I think I think you can help me with that.
Yeah, of course. And that's like huge right now for integrating this new frequency that's going on. Then everything flows out of you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried different things. You know, I didn't do ayahuasca. I don't know if you support this kind of ceremony.
I did. Yeah.
But I did magic mushroom. What's it called?
Mm-hmm.
Magic mushroom. There is another word for that.
Psilocybin.
Yeah, exactly. This helped me also a lot. It was a one of a kind experience, but in the past I was not into that, not even ayahuasca. But now, since I had this experience, I can tell you it was wow, very intense. Like it really opened up some stuff I had inside me. So
it's a very powerful medicine that everyone should have access to without shame.
Yeah, but especially ayahuasca, that's the next thing I want to do. But I mean, Reiki can help also a lot. I mean, Reiki healing is you take the energy which you have inside and release it, no?
Yeah, every single thing that has happened to us in our life that we haven't given the correct attention to or love to gets stored in our body, which then creates dis-ease, which can then turn into disease. So any pain that you're feeling, any health concerns, anything like that, you know, any emotional blockages, any, you know, emotional blockages that have like to do with money or like relationships or whatever it is, it all ties into that. It's how our chakras is how we speak to the universe without words.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm gonna definitely do a session with you.
Yeah, I would love that.
Great, Ashley. So thanks a lot again, and I wish you're in LA, no? So it's afternoon there. So
I'm in BC, Canada, British Columbia, Canada.
I thought you're in LA.
Where are you?
I'm in Switzerland, in Zurich.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, it's already like almost it's past midnight here.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it doesn't matter because I'm a night owl. I have no problem.
Okay.
I like, you know, the night for me is the best time.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for being here and looking forward to our next conversation. And yeah, have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks.